Welcome to Truths, Proofs, and Firewater Reviews. I'm your host, Lindsay, and this is John, risking his liver to discover new whiskeys. We base our reviews on a 25-point scale, 5 for the smell, 10 for the taste, 5 for the finish, and a combined 5 for the bottle and look of the juice.
So we have a side-by-side, courtesy of Michael. I'm not going to do a not so blind this week. We'll do this. I thought about doing it blind, but I don't know which one of these is supposed to be the higher end, or if any are, or if not at all. So let's just pour them, keep the samples by it, and we'll compare it.
All right, so let's just do them in order of what I looked up.
All right.
So this is quite an interesting brand. I had a lot of fun reading about these. So
What's the brand?
this is St. Liberty. You guys have probably seen them around. They
Just
are a
starting
very
to see them on the
unique,
shelf here.
a very unique bourbon bottle. It looks like a horseshoe, and it's very old, like old school glass. And it has like old 1920s pictures on it of these women, and each one of them has their own story. So it's kind of cool how they did it and how they set it up, and all of the information that I got, guys, you can get off their website. So I literally went on there, and normally I have to go through 4, 5, 6 websites before I can get all the information I need to give to you guys. This one literally has everything right on their personal website. If you type in St. Liberty and go there, you are going to get all information that you need from their site alone. So that was kind of cool. It was nice. It was a relief. Not going to lie. So these are all named after famous 1920s bootleggers. They were all named after famous bootlegging women as well. And they all have kind of an interesting little backstory with them. So it's kind of cool. It was really fun reading this. I definitely recommend, if you guys have the time, you're bored, whatever, to look them up and just kind of read through the stories, because they are pretty interesting.
Don't know if it's going to be good or bad yet, but they got some nice color.
We'll see.
And I will say that one of my old favorite football players back in I used to watch invested and promotes this company, and Dominican Sue.
So their name, St. Liberty, is symbolizing the hope for a better world and celebrating our early women pioneers in the spirit industry. So again, the bootleggers and moonshiners of the 1920s after Prohibition, during Prohibition, through all of them. So the first one that we are going to go through is the Birdie's Bear Gulch Bourbon. So this is their straight bourbon take. Oh.
Yeah, it's different.
Oh. This reminds me of something, but I don't know what.
I don't know what either.
Ramen noodles? Oriental flavor?
It is different. It has a savory smell on it.
Did you ever have that before?
Yeah, but it's more like pasta water to me.
Well, pasta water,
At
ramen
work,
noodles,
when we
same
cook
thing.
a bunch of water, he saves the water, and it's so starchy. That's what it smells like.
That's weird.
I get like a dustiness on there too, but not like an old whiskey.
It's interesting.
It's like an old wood, but not super oaky.
Well, while you start going through that, I'm going to give you some background on this so we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I get a little like nuttiness on there too, but like shells of something. It's not peanuts though. It's like almond shells.
Okay.
And dusty corn.
Interesting smells. So Birdie was a lone African-American woman to run a homestead in Montana in the 1920s. She was known for the best moonshine in the country, and this is a 4-year Texas bourbon perfected in Montana. They use the water from the Rocky Mountains in Montana, the same water that they used 100 years ago. They pride themselves on that. This is 70% corn, 27.5% rye, and 2.5% malted barley. It is triple pot distilled. It is a blend of 53 gallon number 4 char and 30 gallon number 4 char.
Okay, so when you use smaller barrels, you get a much weirder, odd smell and taste, and that would be why that's like that. But I just tasted it, and it doesn't taste as weird as it smells.
So weird.
I know. I was a little afraid of tasting it because that's odd.
This is odd. This is Ardbeg.
No, that was way too odd. That was smoked meat. Gristle. See, it's not as bad as it smells.
No. So smelling not too. That just smells like ramen noodles.
This
to me,
really
and it's
reminds
freaking
me of
out.
like Texas whiskey.
That's very. The taste to that is very Texas to me.
Yeah.
Very, very much so. May have been perfected in Montana, but it definitely tastes like Texas.
Do you know where they're all distilled at or sourced from?
They are sourced, but it does not say from where.
You get
Maybe
a
I missed
state?
it, but they're Texan.
It is Texan? So that might be
Were
a
y'all
Texas.
listening?
I wasn't listening.
Clearly,
I was trying to figure out why it's so weird.
they're all made in Texas and perfected in their states.
So I get like a vanilla, boiled peanuts on the taste.
I was gonna say shucked peanuts and like the good ones right after, and they're salty and they have like that white powder on them.
What's the proof on this one? 87 does it say on that bottle?
Yes.
I feel like it might be a little bit better with higher proof. It's a little simple. There's no flavors that are pounding me in the face.
Pound you in the face.
But I'm not upset by the taste.
If you guys try this, don't be thrown off by the smell, because if you are a normal bourbon drinker, you're going to smell this and go, oh, hell no. But it's really not that bad.
On the other hand, if you're into like Balcones or any Texas whiskeys, they have a lot of these tastes
Same
and
taste
dusty
in it.
corn and
Okay, moving on. So this is St. Liberty Josephine's Flathead River Rye. This is 91 proof.
Okay. I bet you the rye will be better.
Oh,
Does it have another weird nose?
smells like pine tree.
Ooh.
Like straight up pine tree.
That would mean it's a higher rye, maybe like a 95.5. I don't even smell it. I'm already speculating.
Oh, man. Yep.
Oh, that's not plain to me. That's like cedar.
Yeah, like cedar, or like, that reminds me of like a freshly built pine cabin.
That is like a fresh
knotted
cedar.
pine, cedar, like woodsy.
Also kind of like a moldy cedar.
Okay. Don't go off the nose, guys. So this is
Or
Josephine.
maybe aspen.
Yeah, maybe.
Are those all types of pine?
Yes.
Evergreen? I don't know what they're called. I'm not
You're
very...
an evergreen. So Josephine is the bootleg lady of Glacier Park. This is a 5-year Tennessee rye.
Oh, Tennessee rye.
Tennessee. So, interesting story with Josephine is that the train would come into the station and it would toot its horn for however many gallons of moonshine that they needed for the train. And that was her low-key way of getting her moonshine brought around different people. The train people would come in and pick it up, and they would deliver it throughout, and the people that were on the train would take it, whatever they were doing. So I thought that was kind of cool. It is a 5-year Tennessee rye, 95% rye, 5% malted barley. You were correct there. This is aged 5 years at least in 53 gallon number 3 char and triple pot distilled.
Okay, so
Hallmark Rye is a limited release of 30 barrels. I'm not sure if that's what Michael had. I don't know. I couldn't find if that was like the only one that they released. The only rye that they released is their Hallmark Rye, or if that was a different variation. I'm not 100% sure on that. If you guys know, comment below. Michael, if you're watching this, let us know if it's a Hallmark Rye. I'm not sure. But if it is, that was a limited release that they did, and then they have their normal release. So, not sure.
This is like the sap of some of those evergreen trees in there. So I haven't tasted it yet, but I am more enjoying the stories that you're giving me than the smells on these.
This is
That first one smelled odd. This one smells interesting, not odd. Never smelled anything like that. I'm afraid.
Again, taste is not bad. That's a pretty solid rye to me.
Yeah, and some of that piney,
Some of it's
cedar.
right at the beginning. You get kind of a mouthful of cedar,
like pine sap.
piney, sappy stuff. But it goes
Nice
right away
vanilla.
and it washes over with a really nice rye.
I don't get a ton of rye in there. It's just very subtle.
It's like, again though, not as
Kind of reminds me of like a High West rye.
maybe.
But Tennessee, that is really interesting to me because the only one that I know that source is big in Tennessee is Dickel. But Dickel doesn't distill their own rye. They have an MGP rye. So who is this? I know there's a bunch of distillers, but Jack doesn't source.
You're the only 10 I see. Anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I
don't
enjoyed
think
the
that's
first
that
one
bad.
too, but I like the first one better just because I don't like the pinier ryes like Double Rye, High West,
Yeah.
and all those.
I'm not usually a pine-esque kind of girl,
Like
but I
Is
can
it
get
the
behind
Double
that.
Rye?
That's pretty good.
I can't get through it.
Rendezvous rye.
Rendezvous? Yeah.
think so.
The Double Rye was okay. Rendezvous I didn't like.
Okay, so now this is 95 proof. This is St. Liberty's Mary's 4-grain bourbon.
Alright, so this is the bottle I've been looking at in the store that I've been wanting to buy. I've always wanted to try a 4-grain. I can't remember having one.
I don't
Ooh, I
remember.
get maple syrup on this one.
Oh, great. At least it's a normal smell.
Yeah, this one is the most normal smelling.
So Mary was a bootlegger from Colorado. She never paid one fine, which if you are familiar with any of the bootlegging stories, let me tell you, the cops back in the day were real lax about handing out those fines very feverishly. So she never received one fine, never paid a fine, never anything for her entire bootlegging career. This is another 4-year Texan 4-grain bourbon. It's a Texan 4-grain bourbon, in case you're wondering.
Yeah. I do get that Texas smell.
And it is perfected in Colorado using the water from the Crystal River. This is 65% local grown corn from Texas, 22% wheat, 10% rye, and 3% malted barley. It is aged at least 4 years in 53-gallon No. 3 char and triple pot distilled.
So I haven't gone too far into Texas, but both of them remind me so much of Balcones.
Can I talk about this color?
The
on
color
this
is the
stellar.
nicest color. It
Like,
is the best
stellar.
smelling so far. I get maple
Oh.
syrup. I get that dusty corn, vanilla.
Oriental ramen noodles?
What? No, not on this one.
No, I smell it on this one.
I don't get it on this one.
I get corn.
It's that dusty corn. It's like the grain.
Like when you go in, you probably haven't done this.
I probably have. You'd be
Redneck.
surprised.
When you go into a silo or you go into
That's what
like
I just said. The
the-
grain. The
Have you ever
feed.
been in one?
Yeah, on a field trip.
I had to
remember.
chase a raccoon out of one.
I wouldn't
Okay.
do that. I don't like raccoons.
And you smell like this when you get out.
So raccoons are peeing on that grain?
Probably.
Hope that's not going in our bourbon.
Nah, you're probably feeding it to the cows. They don't care. Wash this off in
So
the
I
dirt.
don't get that oddness that you got on that one or
It's
this
the
one.
same thing. Ramen noodles.
4 grain, so is that corn, barley, rye, and wheat, or is it something else? I wasn't listening. I need the info.
65% local grown Texas corn.
Ooh.
22% wheat, 10% rye, and 3% malted barley. For the second
Barely
time.
4 grain. How much? I'm just kidding.
Beat you up.
So
I need to try
I
it.
get something effervescent like a soda in there. What kind of soda would that be?
Ranch dressing soda.
Oh, I see that bottle. Why would you want to drink that?
Why would you?
Why is that a
ranch?
thing?
I don't.
I love ranch, but no.
John. Wait. Millennials.
Probably half of our viewers you just lost.
We're millennials.
Son of a- I don't identify.
Lord.
I'm a baby boomer. By
At heart.
I feel like this one's going to be the best.
Got a little zang to it. I can't get over that weirdness.
I get a little bit of rye in there. This one is my favorite. I will definitely say that. I get maple syrup. Ooh. Maple syrup. Maple syrup and
I
that
can see the
soda.
maple.
What kind of soda am I thinking of? It's like a rock and rye. What's in rock and rye? Like honey, orange peel? I get that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like
Is it
Faygo
rock
rock
and
and
rye?
rye.
Spicy, sweet.
Yeah. A little zangy.
That has a really nice finish to it, and it is a lot better than the smell. Again,
Get a
y'all,
little-
if you try these, don't get thrown off by the smell. The smell is kind of odd, but the taste is,
I like the
it's
smell
there.
on that one. I like the taste on that one.
And if you're a
I
Texan
like the finish
lover,
on that one.
these are pretty stellar. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna say it's gonna be the rye for me, and then it's gonna be the 4 grain, and then it's gonna be the straight bourbon.
So, just an overall number, 1 to 100. What would you rate each? The bottle's gonna bring them up because they got pretty nice.
Their
unique
bottles are phenomenal.
So you're number 1 in score.
My number 1 is gonna be the rye, and I would probably give it 82.
Oh,
It's different, but I enjoyed it. My second is going to be the 4 grain. Again, the smell's a little odd, but the taste is there and the profile is there. So I'd probably give it a solid 80. It's not terrible, but
so it's not that much worse than that one.
no.
I thought you were saying like that one was far and above your lead.
Yeah. And then I would do this one probably coming in at like a 74.
Oh, so they're all
Just
pretty
not a big
close,
fan of that
but
one.
that one was way in the back.
Yeah.
So my number 1 is this one, very clearly. I do love a good rock and rye. That really reminds me of that. I'd give that upper 80s. I love the finish. The finish on that's longer than all of those, and it has
Yeah.
more proof. So
I
that
still-
one really.
I still got it hanging out in my throat.
My second would be this one. I'd probably give that upper 70s. And then maybe not even, maybe mid 70s. That pininess. The smells are really bringing them down though, but
Don't go off the smells. Tell you one more time.
and then that one's like lower 70s for me.
All in all, this is pretty interesting.
Good experience, cool stories.
I
Glad I
There's-
didn't buy these two. I would buy one of those.
You go for it. I'm not gonna drink it, but you
Maybe
go for
I'd
it.
buy one of these. Right.
It's not bad. They're just, you gotta get over the smells. Go past your nose and taste them and see what they're at. If you are a Texas bourbon drinker, this is the brand for you.
But this one's not Texas. This
No,
is
that's Tennessee rye. But overall, I mean, it was fun.
Yeah,
This was super
very
cool.
fun.
Thank you, Michael, for sending them. I thought this was super stellar. Super stellar.
duper.
I thought it was super stellar to try all 3 of them at once, and it was kind of cool because John and I have been
Yeah, I'm
looking
glad
at them, so
he put them all together because if
Yeah.
I would have done those separately, I don't think you'd really appreciate a couple
No.
of them.
it's kind of cool to have them all at once.
Mhm.
So there you go.
So that wraps up this review. Leave a comment if you have tried this whiskey and let us know what you thought. Please like and share us to social media, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to leave a suggestion for our next review. Thanks for watching.